So welcome everyone. Thank you for being here in our live container of Rested Heart. I'm so grateful for you being here. Today we're going to practice for our divine hearts, and you will need a few little things from around the house. So if you do have a bolster, that is handy. But if you don't, you might like to grab yourself two big bed pillows, and a blanket would be lovely, and perhaps something to cover the eyes. Also making sure that you're nice and warm wherever you are today, as the body temperature tends to drop when we do these more slow and subtle practices. I have shared in the comments a playlist, so if you would like to hit play on that, that is there for you. And I'm just going to have a quick look to make sure no one else is joining. And then we will get started. So gather anything that you need on your end. Perfect. All right. So welcome once again. If you haven't practiced with me, I am Agatha, and we're going to get started by finding a seat. And we're going to close the eyes. Just allow the body to ground into time and space. Taking a full inhale through the nose and a full exhale through the mouth. You're going to take a few gentle rocks side to side here. And just offering some gentle movement as we arrive here together in community. And then you might like to place the hands over the chest in what is known as a butterfly shape. And these tips of your fingers can touch down onto the shoulders. And as you're swaying here, you might like to gently tap each shoulder with your fingertips. And there might be some deeper exhales here. Through the mouth as we arrive into the space of the heart. Gentle taps, deep breaths. These taps might be fast, they might be slow. You choose the rhythm of what you need today. And so knowing that whatever we offer, whatever I offer today is an invitation. And if you need something different in your body, know that you can take that and it's always welcome. You might start to slow down the taps. Continuing with the swaying if that feels good. And then we'll offer a few rounds of humming. So keeping the mouth closed as you inhale. And as you exhale, a hum. Inhale. Exhale, hum. Two more. Inhale. Last one. Taking a full inhale through the nose and a full exhale through the nose. And gently drop down your cheek to one of the hands that is resting on your shoulder. And you may continue to rock here, or maybe there's a stillness that you hold yourself in. And today's practice is one for the heart, to find that space of tenderness, to be in the refuge of the heart, and to guard what is yours, your light, your remembering, your wisdom, to feel this deep connection inwards. As you rest here for another 3 breaths, you might bring to mind the intention that you worked with or that you came to yesterday in day 1. Or perhaps just an intention for what brought you here today. Might be a word or a feeling that you're trying to cultivate. And hold that close. You're still resting with the cheek on the palm. You can slowly come back, remove the hands from the body and just rest for a moment upright. And we'll offer ourselves a little bit of movement here before we come to find our rest. So if you've had your legs crossed in one direction, you might like to change them just to give the body some balance here. And then we're going to offer the chest forward as we come into a few rounds of Sufi circles. So your inhale brings you forward and your exhale sends you back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale. Exhale. You might like to change directions. Inhale and exhale. And here, begin to notice the rhythm of your own breath, letting yourself move as quickly or as slowly as you need here. You might notice some pockets of stickiness in the hips, and you might like to stay there and send the breath. And then there might be just some gentle sways once again, side to side, maybe a little more reach. You might like to bring in the arms resting down and stretching overhead, side to side, opening up those heart meridian lines that run through the arms. And here we're kind of offering some gentle somatic movement before we come into some longer holds, just to take out any of that stagnancy that the body might have in this moment. A few little seated cat-cows. You can drop the chin towards the chest and then Inhale, push the chest forward, lift the gaze to the sky. Dropping the chin back. Then lifting yourself up to the sky. And letting yourself rock here just for a couple more rounds of breath. Once again, make it yours. Let this movement be an expression of your heart. Taking anything that feels a little more organic here. Some ripples of the spine, dropping of the shoulders, shaking of the hands. And then we're going to find our way into our first shape, which is going to be a child's pose. So if you do have a bolster, you can let that run down your mat. But if you've got those two bed pillows, you can stack two on top of each other, and that will make a beautiful support for you here. The knees are going to be as wide or wider than your mat. The toes will touch, and then your support will land just at the pelvis. From here, you can begin to rest the torso on the bolster. And if you do have glasses or anything obstructing the face, you can gently remove them so that you have this beautiful space of rest. As you land on the bolster, you might like to turn the head left or right. And I'll guide you into turning around the midway point if you have the head turned to one side. But here in this first shape that we find ourselves in, let the breath reach the back of the heart, the space between the shoulder blades. And let it run down both arms all the way to the pinky fingers as you exhale. The inhale is into the back of the heart. And the exhale runs down, shoulders, the arms, all the way to the pinky finger. One more breath like this. Inhale, back of heart. Exhale, down the arms to the pinky finger. And then letting the body melt into the support. If you have the head turned to one side and would like that balance, you can slowly turn your way to the other side. I'd like to read you some words from Sarah Blondin. She says, "The mind attaches, the heart lets go. The mind operates out of fear and distrust, and the heart operates on faith and ease. The mind is frantic in its functioning. The heart is slow, deliberate, and peaceful. The mind thrives on and enjoys problem seeking and solving. The heart thrives on acceptance of all things and labels nothing as wrong or right." And so wherever you find yourself here, if the mind is chattering, you can say, "Thank you, mind, but not right now." You can say, "I choose to move into my undefended and fearless heart. I choose to move into my undefended and fearless heart." Three more breaths here in your child's pose. And on your next inhale, you can begin to rock back onto the heels of the feet, removing anything that is on your mat and coming to rest on the belly. I'm going to take a little rebound here with the hands stacked in front, letting the forehead rest on the cushion of the hands. And noticing here the breath as it feels into the belly against the mat. And as it exhales, it retreats back through the passage of the nostrils. I choose to be in my undefended and fearless heart. From here, we're going to move into a Sphinx pose. So you're going to bring the forearms down onto the mat parallel, and you can begin to lift the skin of the neck, the front of the throat, and see if you can push down through the pelvic bone, the pubic bone, rather. And sometimes having the hands parallel can be quite a lot, and just bringing the fingertips out a little bit can be nice for the shoulders or the lower back. And this time we breathe into the front of the heart. So sending your inhale to the front of the heart. And the exhale runs down the forearms into the center of the palms down to the earth. Inhale, center of the heart. Exhale down the arms to the center of the palm, into the earth. One more breath like that. Inhale, center of the heart. Exhale, all the way to the palms of the hands. And then placing your attention on this center of the heart and connecting to the qualities of your brave, fearless heart. Of this space of remembering, of wisdom. And there's 5 more breaths here in your Sphinx. Final breath. And slowly begin to lower back down. Let the head land back onto the cushion of the hands. And let the body relax in the support of the earth. Giving yourself 3 more breaths here in your rebound. Slowly coming out of your shape. And we're going to move into a bit of a lung opener. And I really like these lung openers to connect to the heart because our physical heart lives in the cavity of the lungs. Okay, and so there's this connection between breath and heart. So we're going to do something that I call mermaid pose. So you've got your bolster or your 2 cushions. And then if you do have that blanket, you can fold it up into kind of this rectangle shape and then fold it up again. So it almost creates a bit of a block-like shape. If you don't have a blanket that is as firm or as supportive, maybe a cushion from your couch might be helpful here. But we're going to stack, we'll start with the right side and we'll stack our legs into a kind of fetal position, or stacking the knees on top of each other, the feet. And if that doesn't feel comfortable, the legs can be as you need. And then slowly that head is going to come to meet your support underneath. And so for me right now, that is feeling a little too low. And so I'm going to bring in a second blanket. So if that's you, you might also need a little extra boost. And if you don't have any props that support you in this way, you might just rest the head on the hand here. So you still get that support and that rest. If you do have the support, that right arm is going to come in between the gap between the bolster and your extra support. And then the left arm is going to come to overhead. And so we're opening up the side of the body here. And you can imagine or notice why I like to call this mermaid pose. Almost as if you're a mermaid lying on a rock on a hot summer's day. Taking in the warmth of your heart. And right now we are compressing the right side and opening the left side. And so our heart sits on the left side of the body. And so right now we make space if at any point that upper arm needs to move or change, feel free to give yourself what you need. And you to breathe into the left side of the body. There's 5 more breaths on this side. As you feel ready, if the arm is still overhead, you can slowly, as if you're moving through honey, begin to lower it down back to the hip. And take a full inhale here. And a full exhale. We're going to lie on our backs with the props and supports as they are. So that bolster or the cushions that you have are going to act to create a bit of a heart opening. And if you know that that might be too high for you, please adjust. You might just have the soles of the feet grounded on the feet with the knees pointing up, or if you feel you can extend the soles of the feet down, you can also go there. And then the arms are yours. So if you would like to have them out in a T shape, or if you want them a little closer into the body, that is your adventure today. Notice if you want the expansion or the deepening of the connection. And here, let the shape take its time. Notice if you're gripping anywhere in the soles of the feet or the brow, the jaw. And invite softness into the places where you can begin to release and let go. Let this practice be a salve for your heart, for your nervous system, for the light of your wisdom. Let this be a gateway to your connection. There's another minute or so here, knowing you can always come to retreat on your side if you need, or lie on your back completely flat. knowing you can stay here a little while longer if it's feeling supportive to you. And if you would like to come with me to the other side of that lung opener, you'll just need to roll onto your left side this time, leaving the props exactly as they are. And then choosing your support system for the head. Might be your arm, might be your blankets. The legs are stacked on top of each other. And then that right arm is going to extend over the head. And so here, we're opening the opposite side, the right side. And we're touching in on the heart with the support and the props underneath us. If we don't think of it as constricting, but rather connecting to the heart. And so this space of the heart holds a multitude of qualities, a multitude of energetics. It can be both fierce, proud, brave, and it can be tender, soft, and loving. And so in this shape, we practice for both sides, for all qualities of the heart. There's another 10 or so breaths here. On your next inhale, begin to lift that right arm if it is overhead and letting it rest on the side of the body. Taking a full inhale through the nose and a full exhale through the nose. From here, you'll come to lie on your back without any of your props underneath you. So rebounding into a baby shavasana. Back is on the mat. the soles of the feet are stretched out, or if it feels better for the lower back, the soles of the feet can be grounded into the mat, and the knees can be knocking. Choose what is most supportive for you. And here you might like to place hands over body. You might like to put one hand on heart, one hand on belly. You might like to stretch the arms out up long, or you might like to find a stillness and quiet for 5 or so breaths here. Knowing if you would like to stay a little longer in this rebound, it's very welcome. Otherwise, we are going to move into what is known as banana asana, or crescent shape. And so to move in that direction, we're going to bring both feet to the bottom left corner of your mat. You might like to hook the right ankle on top of the left, but this might be a little too strong for some. So just see how that feels. And then the hands are going to stack on top of each other. And then bring them to the top left corner of your mat. So you're creating this crescent shape with the right side of your body. And if you would like a little more opening here, you might pull on that right wrist with the left hand. Banana asana. Another shape that is giving us space in the cavity of the lungs, but also working through this heart meridian line that runs through the arm. So once again, the heart and the lungs are very interconnected. Notice if there's any gripping on here. And send your breath to offer this letting go. Begin to come back to center, resting the hands back on the body or taking anything else you need in the in-between, maybe a little rock of the knees side to side. Could feel nice. And then we will come to the other side. So this time the feet come to the right bottom corner of the mat. If you did like that additional stretch, you can interlace the ankles. And then the hands will stack once again, putting the opposite hand on top and then bringing them to the top right corner this time, creating this crescent shape with the left side of the body. And remembering that each side is different. So if the crisscross served you on one side and doesn't on this side, readjust, reassess what the body needs. And if you wanted that additional sensation through the arm, you could pull the left wrist with the right hand. And here we open up the left side of the body, offering the breath to expand into the heart. I choose to be in my undefended and fearless heart. And slowly come back to center and finding any gentle movement, or if you feel like you'd like the stillness in your body, taking what you need. We're going to offer ourselves a gentle twist. If you have your cushions or your bolster, you can bring them to the left side of your mat. And then bring the knees in towards the chest. Give them a nice squeeze. Maybe a little rock side to side, a little massage of that sacrum area. And then drop the shins and the knees onto your support. Or you can also offer the bolster or support in between the knees. So choosing what feels best for you today. And then you can bring the arms out into cactus or a T shape. And if the neck allows, you can slowly take the gaze to the right side. And it can be nice to bring that left hand onto the belly or the chest. Just connect inwards with the breath. Another 10 or so breaths here. And as you feel ready, you can come back to center and slowly make your way to the other side. So traveling with your props and setting up the knees to the right side. Maybe taking the right palm over the body and the neck to the left. The time feels right. You can come back to your center. And there is only one shape left in our practice today, and that is our Shavasana. So I'll give you a few moments here to set yourself up with ease and no rush whatsoever. You might like to thread your pillows or bolster underneath the knees so that the soles and heels of the feet are floating. And if you do have some extra blankets to cover the body, that can be a really sweet support to keep yourself warm through the remainder of your practice. Perhaps you'd like a cushion or a blanket or something to elevate the head. Maybe even something to cover the eyes. So give yourself the time to set up your Shavasana, knowing there's no rush here. Begin to settle the back of the body onto the support of the mat, to the support of your props underneath you. Now gently guide you through a body scan. And then I will let you rest in the space of the heart in your Shavasana. So we'll start at the crown of the head, sending your breath and attention here. Moving along to the center of the brow, offering your breath into the center of the brow, letting any wrinkles or creases soften, relax. the tip of the nose, a full inhale to the tip of the nose, and a full exhale. The shoulders, full inhale, full exhale. The upper arms, forearms, palms of the hands, fingertips. 3 breaths, letting the breath move in and out through the fingertips. The forearm, the upper arm, the shoulders, the center of the throat, center of the chest, heart space. The abdomen, hip bones, center of the thighs, the knees, center of the calf, ankle joint, the sole of the feet, the tips of the toes. Giving yourself 3 breaths, inhaling and exhaling through the toes. Imagining the whole body is breathing through the pores, the resonance of the heart. And coming to rest in the heart space. And letting the power and silence of Shavasana hold you here. The next time you hear my voice will be to guide you out. Welcome to your Shavasana. So knowing you can stay in your Shavasana for a little while longer. And if you would like to close the practice with some journaling as I hold space for you, you might gently begin to remember where the body is in time and space. Sending a breath deeper into the heart space. Connecting to the toes and the fingertips. Letting the head rock side to side. And reawakening the body in a way that feels nourishing to you. If you're coming to journal, you can slowly move to your side, taking a moment there of reflection with this question of what does it feel like to arrive in your heart? What does it feel like to arrive in your heart? And so there's around 4 minutes or so just to be in reflection or to continue to be in your rest, choosing what feels most valuable to you in this moment. You might use the prompt of what does it feel like to arrive in your heart? Or perhaps you might also just free write and note down any wisdom, remembering that came through in your practice. And wherever you are, just finishing up any journaling, or if you'd like to come to close the practice together, you can slowly move to a seat. And we'll bring hands over the heart, and bowing the chin towards the heart. And thanking yourself for being here, for showing up for the many qualities of the heart, the strength, the courage, the love, the tenderness, the softness. And remembering that within the heart there is this ultimate light that lives within you. The light of your wisdom, of your remembering. This is your guiding force, the force of your heart. And today I thank you also for showing up, whether you're live or on the recording. I appreciate you and I see your heart and your light. Thank you for practicing with me.